Chicken Florentine is a delicious one-pot meal that's very easy to prepare. You need boneless, skinless chicken breasts for this, some really good quality fresh spinach, some herbs, and some spices. It's absolutely delicious. It feeds large groups of people and it's very easy to make. Begin first by cleaning, washing, and slicing your spinach. If you use baby spinach, you don't need to do anything other than wash it. In this, you'll need to use mustard. You can use the type of mustard you like. I used coarse grain mustard, which I'm very fond of. Some clear chicken stock, onions, garlic, mushrooms. Wipe these with a dry duster. Do not wash them. Some butter, some herbs like thyme. I'm also using freshly chopped chives. First, you want to begin by flattening out your chicken breast just a little bit. You're not trying to make a cutlet here, but you just want to get it a bit even so that it cooks evenly when it goes into the sauce. I prepared this dish for about 6 people. You can halve it, double it, works either way. Once you've done this to the chicken, what you want to do is season it generously with salt and pepper on both sides. And after this, we're going to dip this in some flour and fry it lightly in a little bit of olive oil. You want to only par cook them, and the reason for this is the rest of the cooking will happen when it goes into the sauce. So turn your chicken breasts over. Again, put some salt and pepper on them. You can use freshly crushed too, whatever takes your fancy. Now in this dish, you can use a little alcohol if you like to, like brandy or white wine, or you can just omit those and use more chicken stock. Dredge them very generously in flour. This flour is not only going to help create a coating around the chicken, but it's also going to help the sauce to thicken afterwards. Try to fry the pieces that are more or less the same size in the first batch and then move to the next batch. Don't overcrowd the pan. You want to heat the oil on a medium flame, and then you want to cook these consistently on a medium flame so that they don't burn and they cook as evenly as possible. I add a little bit of red chilli flakes to the oil just to flavor the oil. And I first fry the mushrooms. For the mushrooms, I just took the stalks off, wiped them clean with a clean cloth, and I'm frying them whole because I don't want them to get soft and mushy. I want them to sort of stay firm and have a little bit of bite when they get cooked in the sauce. Cook them until they just begin to turn a little bit bronzy, but still hold their shape. Cook them in this oversized kind of pan so that they don't leach too much water. And cook mushrooms on a very high heat. Then I add the chicken breasts that I dredged in flour. The smaller pieces will cook faster, so you can drain them out sooner than the other larger pieces. Cook this on a consistent flame, otherwise it will absorb too much oil and get oily. Flip them over when they just start to brown a little bit. All these delicious bits that will stick to the bottom of the pan will add flavor to your sauce as we move along in the recipe. As they cook, keep turning them over, make sure they cook evenly. Sometimes you need to rotate the chicken in the pan because the flame is stronger on one side than the other. Then drain them out. I just place them with the mushrooms in the same bowl so that any juices that come can just leach into the mushrooms and they'll go back into the pan afterwards. This has all the flavor, so don't waste it, don't lose it. Now I add some butter to some more oil. This brings a nice creamy butteriness. Add some finely chopped onion. I use red onion because I don't get the smaller little white onions here. But you can use white onion too if you want a milder flavor. It's just a very little bit of onion and it's very finely minced because you don't want pieces in your mouth. You want the texture to be smooth. Then add the garlic. We're just going to sweat this a little bit. Or scrape the bottom of the pan, get all those juices, all those little delicious bits and pieces out. Now add your thyme. Thyme works well with spinach dishes, better than other herbs. Add more red chili flakes. Now add your chopped up spinach. We're going to cook this spinach until it wilts. Give it a good scrape the bottom of the pan. Now I'm going to add my chicken stock to this. You can add more salt at this point if you like, but I prefer to wait till the end. Now I'm going to add some mustard to this. I've used coarsely ground mustard. You can use smooth mustard. You can use a very spicy, sharp mustard too. Sharp mustard works well with this because otherwise it's a very mellow dish. So it's entirely up to you what you like. A little salt and pepper goes in right at the end. Now return those par-cooked chicken breasts to this spinach sauce. Lower your flame. You want to cook this chicken now very slowly so that it's tender and moist. If you cook it on a very high flame, it could get kind of tough and coarse, and that will not be very nice. Cover it and let it stew until it's almost entirely done. Now let it cook open for a little while because you want the sauce to start to thicken before you add everything else. Now I added a little bit of brandy and a little bit of lemon juice to this. Lemon juice really lifts the flavor. Then I add a little bit of cream, to which I had added some cornstarch and made a little bit of a slurry. You can use flour too. Lower your flame. Add the cream, you'll find the sauce will start thickening up really fast. You're looking for a creamy sauce. So you don't want to use too much flour or too much cornstarch. You're not looking for a gloppy sauce. It's got to have a smoothness to it to be really delicious. Now a little more red chili flakes, because I do like a little bit of a kick, some black pepper. And you're almost done now. Just a couple of things left to do. Add your mushrooms and all the juices that came with it. This is only going to cook for a couple of minutes. You don't want to overcook those mushrooms, but it's going to add a really nice, tasty complexity to the dish. Now I add half the chives which I chopped. And the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to grate the lemon zest over it. I had used the juice of half a lemon, but I'm going to use the zest of the whole lemon. This is an imported yellow lemon. It really is so flavorful and has a wonderful aroma. It makes you hungry while you're doing this. In fact, I've always felt that the zest has more flavor than the juice. Now give it a gentle stir. You can see the sauce is thickening. You can thin it down a little bit by adding more stock if you have it, or adding more water. A final flourish of lemon juice, and your dish is ready. I've used a pan which goes from the stove top to the table, so it's less washing up to do. I serve it with plain boiled white rice, but you can do mashed potatoes, you can do noodles if you like, entirely up to you. And a nice, grated parmesan on top, and your chicken Florentine is ready to go. If you don't like mushrooms, leave the mushrooms out. You can even add artichokes from a tin to this. It tastes very, very yummy. You can add more spinach if you like as well. Sometimes, because I want a little complexity, I throw in a little bit of sepu or dill, which also makes it quite different. I hope you'll try this dish.